Hey, I'm Andrea Featherstone from Project Self, and I've partnered with Medibank for their awesome Live Better at Home program to help you spend a little bit less time staring into the fridge trying to distract yourself from all the stress and a little bit more time feeling strong and clear, even if you're still on the COVID roller coaster with me. So as I mentioned in the last little video, which you can check out on the Medibank Live Better at Home page, stressful events can sometimes make our mind go a little bit faster, sometimes a lot faster, and we can start to become more indecisive. So maybe you've noticed you're feeling a bit more scattered than usual, maybe you're feeling a bit lost, maybe you actually have to make a big decision now because perhaps, COVID has changed things for you. Maybe your career is no longer possible right now. Or maybe you're just noticing that you can't work out what to have for dinner ever, right? Maybe something like that is going on for you. So let's talk a little bit about how you can use some unconventional mindfulness techniques to become better at making decisions, even when you're in the midst of something like this pandemic. So I have this idea that I share with my clients that I find really helpful for describing the difference between our gut instinct and the voice in our head. So I like to think of them as though they're two separate people. So in the last video, I got you guys to think of a name to name your mind. And so that part of your mind, the discursive mind, it's sometimes called, the voice in your head that's talking to you all the time, that's what we call the chatty guy, or perhaps the chatty chick, or whatever you want to call him or her, right? So it's almost like you're sitting on a couch in your mind. You've got two people in front of you. You've got one guy who's the chatty guy, and he's talking at you all the time, him or her. And then on the other side, you've got the wise guy or the wise woman. And that's what I call the gut instinct, right? The person or the part of you that kind of knows things a bit more deeply, or at least it seems to be a little bit more wise than the discursive mind, right? So if you think of those two people on the couch, you've got the chatty guy going blah, 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 everything's screwed, I don't know what to do. Oh, what should I do? Oh, maybe this is a good idea. Oh, maybe that's a good idea. Jumping around, thinking about all sorts of things. As soon as you have a good idea, the mind goes, no, but here's the 20 reasons that won't work, and all that kind of thing. That's the chatty guy or the chatty chick. On the other side of the couch, the wise woman or the wise guy, they're just very quiet, like most wise people. Just quiet, having a chill. And in fact, I think of it like this. The wise person in you, they don't speak in words. They nod, they shake their head, and then they'll just point with no explanation. So someone comes up to you and they are a certain way, and the gut just feels like, I like them. Yes. Or that someone comes up to you and you think, no, wrong there. And then the mind goes, oh, there's something wrong with them, blah, blah, blah. But the gut is what's telling you what's right. And every now and then you just get a little nod from the gut instinct, like, go that way. You just have an idea like, oh, maybe I'll just go over there for some reason. Or maybe I'll just try out this new career or something like that. Just a little inkling pops into your mind, and you don't know, it doesn't usually have an explanation. It's just like a little nudge. It doesn't usually have a great plan either, and it might seem sometimes irrational. Just a little nudge somewhere, right? So we have to learn some tools to start to understand how we can hear the difference between them. Because if your mind's really busy, which it is, will it be especially busy in this time of COVID, probably for most of us, you stop being able to hear this wise guy. So if you imagine them on the couch, you've got one friend who just, when they speak, it's just gold, but you've got this other friend that just won't stop talking. You're never going to hear the wise person, right? They're just going to be drowned out by the chatty guy, and that's where mindfulness comes in. So when I studied my Masters of Architecture in Dublin, and at a certain point during that Masters, I thought, nah. And all I knew was that my gut instinct was like, no, not this. And I had no idea. There was no rational thinking. And it took me a long time to work out what to do instead. And this is, I found, really, really helpful technique for this. So not long after that, I went and worked on a super yacht for a Russian billionaire. And during that time, I was ruminating a lot. Even though I was having a pretty amazing life living on a super yacht for a Russian billionaire, I was vacuuming all day, right? So I'll be vacuuming the walls, angry. What am I doing with my degree? What a stupid thing to do with my life. Oh, can't believe that guy at the pub hasn't texted me. Vacuuming the ceiling, which was a mirror on a ceiling of a cinema in a boat, which you just clearly don't need, right? I would get really angry and really ruminaty, And so over that period of time, that's when I learned mindfulness. And what I started doing instead was focusing on my senses while I was doing the vacuuming. So I was focusing on the feeling of my arm moving, feeling the subtle pain in my arm and my right bicep, because I was quite weak at the time, still am, and noticing the sound of the vacuum, noticing the carpet under my feet. And what I noticed is that I couldn't be bored and I couldn't be ruminating and I couldn't be angry at the same time as focusing on my senses in the present moment. And it actually gave me some space where the mind wasn't thinking all the time. The chatty guy was quiet for a second, and I started to have these really interesting little nudges of what I might want to do. And that was the wise guy or the wise chick speaking up, because I was creating this space and thinking. So my tip for today is that I want you to get something that is a household chore. So something that you do every single day. I'm actually going to show you my washing. So an example of this would be folding the washing, or you could do hanging out the washing. You could also do brushing your teeth and mopping, vacuuming, whatever. And what I want you to do is just do it while bringing your attention into the present moment. So what that means is using your 5 senses and your internal senses, so feeling your body while you do it. So you might notice the feeling of the texture of the thing in your hands. Notice the sound it makes as you fold it. Slow down a little bit. Notice, the texture of things. Notice what you can hear around you. Noticing all the different senses as you fold the things. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me fold my washing, but I'm sure you get the idea. So choose a chore that you do and use your 5 senses to bring your attention into the moment, because that will help you have a little bit of space, not so much of the chatty guy, and then you'll get more of the wise guy or the wise woman coming through and telling you, and that's how you get a little bit more clarity. Now, if you found this video helpful, I have a free 6-day video program called the 6 Days to Decisiveness, which you can check out at projectself.com.au/challenge. And I've also recorded a few other short videos with unconventional tips to help you tame your mind and to get more clarity. You can check those out along with loads of other awesome videos by some really amazing humans on the Medibank Live Better at Home website, medibank.com.au/livebetteratHome. Those are going to help you move, eat, and feel better at home. I hope you enjoy them.